there have been plenty of runoffs in Georgia that have changed in outcome. 1992 Democratic Senator Weish Fowler fell just short of 50% in his reelection campaign against GOP nominee Paul Coverdell. 1992 is, let's see, in the Senate race initially, Fowler won by 1.8%. But in the runoff, Coverdell won by 1.4%. Reverse the total. 2006, Democrat David Burgess faced Republican Chuck Eaton. And again, in the election, Burgess won by 2.5%. In the runoff, Eaton won by 3.6%. In 2008, another runoff for a seat on the highly touted and almost too sexy Public Service Commission between Democrat Jim Powell and Republican Bubba McDonald. Here's the results. In the election, Powell won by 0.7%, but in the runoff, McDonald won by 14%. And then there's another runoff you might be familiar with, Secretary of State race 2018 between Republican Brad Raffensperger. There's that name again. I love it. And he faced off against Democrat John Barrow. Now, in this one, Raffensperger won the initial race by 0.4%, and then Raffensperger won again with by 3.8%. So he held that one. If you're an optimist and you maybe want more conservative government, you'll note that while there were changes in a lot of those races, it was usually the Republicans who gained votes in the runoffs. And that's true typically. Smaller electorate, less turnout. It favors dedicated voters, which Republicans have, as opposed to occasional voters and illegal immigrants and dead people like Democrats have. But those races are mostly from a time where Georgia was bright red. Now it's purple, and these races are going to be really close. They're expecting about $200 million to be spent in this runoff. And I bet it's even higher than that, honestly, if it remains competitive. Now, unless something changes the outcome with the president's legal challenges and all that as that's going on, and we're working from that world, we're working from the world that this stuff doesn't work out, because I always like looking for the worst case scenario. The Republicans need one of these to turn their way. But it would be really, 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 really super duper duper helpful to get both of those seats. Why? Lisa Murkowski. She counts, barely, as one of the 51 Republican senators. But her state of Alaska is currently voting on ballot measure 2. If it succeeds, it would change the state rules to an open primary. So instead of having a Republican and Democratic primary for the Senate, you'd have one big primary where the top 4 candidates advance to the election, and then ranked choice voting would be applied. It's a one-of-a-kind system if it passes. But while it's kind of interesting in some ways, pragmatically, right now at this moment, it would free Lisa Murkowski from ever having to please a conservative Republican primary voter ever again. She would be freed and incentivized, actually, to run into the middle instead of the right. And she would face no punishment for siding with the left. In other words, she would flake even more than normal. Here's how that vote it looks like in Alaska right now. It's being rejected by only 5 points, 52 to 47, or if you want to round, 52 to 48. With about a quarter of the vote remaining, as it makes its way, all the votes have to come on dog sleds and coyotes shooting helicopters. That's how they're transferred to be counted. The late vote is trending Democrat, as it usually does, and as you kind of expect. So this is going to tighten, and they might get this open primary system in Alaska. The bottom line is this is a race that no one is paying attention to, but could make a huge difference in the years to come. So, what happens next? First, the recounts and the legal wrangling will continue. On December 14th, the electors will come back together to actually pick a president. After that, we'll all go celebrate Christmas and New Year's and Kwanzaa. Of course, Kwanzaa. Assuming, of course, the country is still standing and we're not all dead of coronavirus. Then we come back to work on Monday, January 4th. And the very next day will be the most important election day outside of a November that anyone can remember. Democrats will pull out every trick to win this thing. They will spend any amount of money. They'll even make Andrew Yang move to Georgia. And if we have any luck at all, they will fail, along with Andrew Yang, miserably. Hi, Stu Bergier of Stu Does America here. Thanks so much for watching our video. Did you know you can watch our entire catalog for free right here on our channel? Subscribe now and be sure to hit the thumbs up button on all the episodes you watch, because that's how they know you like this stupid show. And that little bell in the corner as well. Make sure you click that. You'll get notifications every time we post new content. Stu Does America, every weekday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here.